Welcome to the stream, where I will explain all things possible in the sim called Stationeers. First, I'm just doing my stream setup, and we will get into the game, solve the furnace problem. I don't know what that music is. Is it like the same kind of music? Kind of droney. What's this other stuff here? I like music like this, kind of cool. Eventually I'll stop it because it gets annoying after a while. Okay, let's drop that. Drop that. We can get back into the game over here for now. Bear with me, I'm almost done. Stationeers is a game that involves a little bit of programming. And I always start out using the IC chips rather than just diving right into the programming because it's a little bit more involved, as it were. I call it a sim because it's really a simulation. This is not a game. It simulates the usage of gas type stuff to make other gases and make your life happy or miserable. Munch, munch, munch. Hmm. Hello. I'm supposed to do that with my other hand, probably. Yep. How's that go? Live long and prosper. Microphone testing 1, 2, 3. Oh, I muted my things anyway. It doesn't matter. So, let's get into the game. And I'll go where I left off. So, first I've got to fix my furnace. My plant room is pretty much ready to go again, and I've got to heating problem in my room, which I don't know what to do about yet. But I'm going to work on fixing this furnace first. So consequently, I wonder... Let's just air tank. And he's got an oxidation problem. We had a slight issue in my workroom, so he's got some burn damage. There's a pill that he can take to heal that, possibly. I don't know. It might be under food. It might not be. There it is. Medical pill. Pill paralysis. I discovered another problem too, which I'm not sure how to fix. Actually, I do know how to fix it. It has to do with those planters. So to make this pill, you've got to have 1 silver, 1 cobalt. Now this is ore. I think you can replace ingots with ore, but I'm not 100% sure about that. Phenexetone. Okay, why is there 2 of these? Let me go look at my mod and see if something got changed. Let's see here, we're going to the game. Yes, my game is somewhat modded, needless to say. Stationeers, rocket station data, streaming assets, chemistry. So in the real game, we've got... Oh, there's another one here. There's a healing pill, there's a stun pill, which doesn't seem to be in that list. There's milk, which uses oil and phenexetone. The chemistry recipe only has 10 and carbon. No, wait, phenexetone, cobalt, and silver. Why is it 40 in there, though? I wonder if my mod did something. That would be under... Where? That just didn't sound right. Let's see, we go to Documents, My Games, Stationeers, Mods, Survival Game Data, Chemistry. Oh, that's weird. These numbers are different in my mod. Why is that? They must have changed something. I would have to build a new microwave oven in order to, and restart the game in order to update the mod. Yeah, this should be 10. Let's change that number. Actually, it shouldn't even be in there. It's showing both of them. Why is that? let's look up phenexatone. That comes from a fern plant. So let's see here. I'll look up plants. Cannot find. Plant requirement. I can't find it there either. Mushroom gives us certain things. What happens when it dies, though? Oh, you run that through the reagent. I'll bet you. Wheat, flour, soybean, fern. One fern gives you 10 phenexatone. How many ferns get produced? Let's see. Let's look that up really quick. So you put the fern in the reagent machine and it gives you the material that you need to make the pill. Can be grown in hydroponics, yields 2 fern seeds at an early stage and 2 fern when fully grown. Two, 4. I've been doing things in numbers of 6. Well, this would be... What about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, 4, 8, 16. Let's do 8 instead of 10. 10's an odd number. That would require 5 plants. So if I change it to 8 and require 4 plants, I'm going to change it to 8. We'll see what happens. I got a bunch of stuff in my reagent machine that makes things. Yep, I'm going to that at a different date. Okay, so that's fixed. That's the pill. So now did I do it right? Yep, I did. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. That's not right. No, you've got to have... You've got to have a 1 to 1. Because you need 8 plants to make the pill. Yeah, that should be 1 to 1. You don't get that from one plant. 1 fern equals 1 phenexatone. And let's see, that's the reagent grinder. And the chemistry is going to be, it says 40. Phenexatone. So if I have that's 40 plants. Yeah, wait just a minute here. Wait just a minute. Let's go back to this. 8 times 5 is 40. 5 eighths. What have I got? I got 12. Good. Gosh, I can't even remember how many plants I got in that section. I had 4 to begin with. Now I got 6 total. 3 times 6 is... God, I can't even remember. You know what? Let me just, let's just do something here. I wanted to change that breathing noise. That's the air. I can fix that. I can't fix it here, can I? Air tank critical. I don't know, some of these things you can't do it. Air tank. Yeah, it doesn't let you. So what I've discovered is that if I put his air tank down here in storage while his helmet's open, he doesn't lose air. Okay, he's got another issue, which I don't know what it is. Yeah, I don't know. I have to listen to that all day long. Oh, I've got no power. That's not good. Fix that. Music's a bit loud. This is my plant room. Oh, what's wrong with him? He says a problem out in that room. Alright, so I've got 3, 6, 9, 12. You know what I think I'm gonna do? I can't think with that damn music playing. Although I like the music. So I got 12 plants. Yeah, the game requires 40 phenexatone. You'd think I'd be able to do it in one sitting with the ferns. But I grow 12 cans of rice. Each planter gives you 5 units of rice. 5 units of rice is required for 1 canned rice. So we've got 3, 6, 9. We've got 12 canned rice. Each canned rice requires 1 oil. Each soybean gives you 1 oil. So the outer 4 planters on the right are the soybean. And each soybean gives you 3 plants. 3, 6, 9, 12. So I have just enough soybean to make 12 canned. I thought I had 15. Oh, I guess it's 12. That takes care of the explanation for the amounts of materials required. The oil is created using the reagent processor, and for that, even though I think the reagent processor, I think it's tier 1, but I couldn't find it. Let me look at my electronics again here. Let's see. Plants. Microwave. The microwave is tier 2. The packaging machine. Oh, that's interesting. I changed the packaging machine to tier 1. We already have a microwave because it was part of the startup. I could theoretically, even though I built the packaging machine, that should be tier 2 because the packaging machine requires no wait, the cans require steel, which is easy to make. Let me just go ahead and put this back in here. Let's see here. There's a reason for this being tier 2, which means the upgrade of the electronics printer. The reagent processor is required to make the oil for the cans. I don't know if the reagent process. Oh, here it is. Yeah, that's tier 2. Requires iron, gold, copper. I think that's why it makes sense to put those in tier 2. And with all the food that I brought with me, I guess there's the upgrade of the printer. Now, that's a story. So there's 3 weird alloys that you gotta have in order to do that. Those alloys. Go back here. So you have to upgrade the printer to get the item that makes the oil and the item that makes the steel cans, or that uses the steel cans to make the canned soup. That's the packager. It's a basic one. So it uses solder, electrum, and constantan. So solder is easy to make. 350 degrees, 1 megapascal. 1/2 iron, 1/2 lead. My dude comes with certain ores. He comes with some of all of the ores, actually, and some of all of the ingots. That's just the way I have it set up because I played this game so long that, you know, I'm not going to bother having him look around for stuff. That's just crazy. You don't do that. You don't send someone out to a moon with nothing. You know, that's just not practical. That being said, then you have the electrum. The temperature for this is 600 degrees. Pressure 800 kPa. Again, easy. No problem. You have to use this furnace. You have to use, you can use a regular furnace. And there's percentages, like if you put 1 gold and 1 silver in, you get 2 of these electrum. That's how that works. This one, oh, we could just look at the steel. There's different ways to make that. Oh, that I put in here actually, and I'm not going into my mod, but it's basically 3/4 iron, 1/4 coal. So for every 3 iron and 1 coal, you get 1 steel, I think, something like that. So if you need 35 steel, which the upgrade requires, you've got to have 3 times 35. Oh, that doesn't make any sense, does it? Because if you multiply this by 3, no, by 4, you get 4 items. So that's 3 iron, and 1 coal will give you 4. So if you multiply that by 10, it's like 30 iron, and 10 coal will give you 40. Just add those two numbers and it gives you the total. I think it's something like that. So it's not too bad. But this and the temperature is 900, so you can see the temperature's going up. This is where the problem is right here. There's this dude. I wonder what Invar. What do they use for? See, they use 18 megapascals because it's an alloy, a special alloy. Yeah, another story. So this one, you have to have 20 megapascals in order to make this stuff. And so my discovery was that I had made all these other, why is he still doing that? I made all these other metals and my furnace was acting up. For some reason, I'm just going to do this. I'll restart the game after. I wish I could stop him breathing, though. It's just... His helmet's closed and everything. What is this? Oh, he's got 74% burn damage. What if I pop that pill? I gotta get back to figuring that out too, ain't I? Okay, so as far as this furnace, what I've been doing is clearing this furnace out of everything. You know what, let's just try that. Where's that pill? I thought I put it up here. Maybe it's in the other one. I forgot what I did with it. I want to get into this explanation so I can play the game. It's not here. Oh, there it is. Let's go ahead and pop this pill here. You know, you used to be able... Yeah, they fixed some things. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, that's interesting. That only cured 25% of his burn damage. So you need 4 pills to cure him. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So I've got 3, 6, 9, 12 planters. So he needs 4 pills. That would be 160 phenexetone. And if we look at the game, that would be, is it chemistry? Uses 10, that's 16. If each plant, so he's got each plant giving 10 phenexetone. Wait, this is in the real game. It's only 10 instead of 40. That would be a total of 40 to heal him for... That's only 4 plants. If I do... 4 pills. If I make 4 pills in one sitting, that's a total of 40 phenexetone divided by 12 plants. What is that, 3? No. 40 divided by... This is a math game. So... Go to my trusty calculator. I make a decision to say one planting setup gives me enough pills to heal him completely. Let's just use it as an example. So that would be a total of 40 phenexetone. Assuming the real game says it uses 10 for 1 pill. So you divide 40 by 12. That's 3 1/3. That's why the number doesn't add up. If you divide 40 divided by... No, wait. plants do I get? Oh, I took it off, didn't I? I think it was 3. Let me go back here. Go back to the plants. There's different kinds of plants give you different things. Is phenexitone in here? No. Comes in this regular fern. Let's see if it tells you. Phenexitone powder. Tells you what it gives you. Processes carbon dioxide into oxygen. I changed some numbers on this thing. I made it a little bit more heftier. Oh, I see what they do. They just put the plant. It's just an item. This phenexitone. Okay. So I've got 6 planters. 3. Wait. That thing is still making a noise. 3, 6. I got 12 planters. And let's see here. That's just 2 fern on each plant. So 3, 6, 9, 12. That's a total of 24 fern. Fern. The reagent processor. I'm looking at the game files. Sugarcane gives sugar, wheat gives flour, cocoa powder, soybean gives oil. Chemistry. Where else did phenexitone come from? I forgot where it comes from. My memory's terrible. How come it's not? Game data. Let's look at my mod. Oh, that's weird. What did I do? I took it out of the main game file? Yeah, that's strange. I don't know why I would have done that. So if I look at the game, yeah, it doesn't tell you the amount, it just tells you phenexitone. It doesn't tell you how much. We go to the chemistry station. That's the mod. here too. Steel. You can make steel in the regular. Yeah, but what? Oh, to make the microwave chemistry station, you have to upgrade the printer, electronics printer, which requires that constant tan. I'm getting off the beaten track here. It's showing two of them. The mod is supposed to override the game file, but it's not. I messed with some of the game files and just got rid of them because of this situation. Because I wanted to use other numbers or something. I forget. It doesn't matter. Okay, so we got 3, 6. We got 12 planters. Each planter does 2 ferns. This is in my mod file. So we're going to have to modify the fern output. One fern gives you 1 phenexatone. That would be a total of 3, 6, 9, 12. One pill requires 10. I'll give you some ferns left over. Or not. 2 is 24. So one setting could do 50%. That'd be 2 pills. I don't really want to change both of these numbers. Well, 10 phenexatones is 20. That's 2 pills. With a couple of ferns left over. Which I could convert to biomass. That would give me 24 phenexatone with 4 left over, which would do 50, which would do 2 pills in 1 plant setting. That's 50%. 50% healing in 1 plant setting. I wonder if that's practical. I mean, the chemical's kind of rare. That's 2 plant settings. I think it's challenging. So then we leave it at 10. Yeah, because before they had 10 phenexatone from 1 fern. Now I've got a 1-to-1, which makes it more practical. Yeah, that's a big difference in the game. Okay, that's 50% heal. Then we go back to the chem station. And, oh my, it's in my mod. I could just take that out. Well, why are these so different? I'm gonna look at the game setting for the chem station here. Sorry about this little deviation from my title. We've got that one is 8, that one is 10, that one is 10. The milk is 5 oil, 5 phenexetone. We could change that to 4, which is what I did. Wow. Just delete the chemistry station and the game altogether. Where's there is milk? Wonder what the milk does. Let's see. Let's go back here. Milk. Yeah, it shows 2 of them, doesn't it? That's not right. The mod's not overriding the game. So, I'm going to go in the game and just delete the chemistry station. I've copied all the original stuff anyway. We got 10, 10, and 5. So I'm going to delete the chemistry station from the main game. And the mod is, that's 4 on the milk. I got some other stuff in there. 8 phenexetone, 8 phenexetone, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, that'll work. Wait, but the mod says 40, so we want to change this to 10. That's what the game had anyway, so let me just go up there and double check. Okay. Well, good. That takes care of that mess. Yeah. Alright, so getting back to my situation here. We're just gonna go outside and look at the... I'll just leave all this crap the way it is here for now. I'll restart this game after, because I need to look at my setup. So, this is the furnace, and originally it was connected to this pipe, and originally it was connected to this stupid filtration thing, which took forever to output. There's an output right there, and it took forever to fill this pipe. So what I did, so this pipe's got everything in it except liquid. So, and it's at 50 megapascals, which is 10 short of breaking. And this is the output from the furnace, which is also connected to this, which is what I decided to do. If any liquid ends up in here, I send it to the liquid pipe over here. There was another connection over here where this pipe goes up to this little thing here, and if there's any liquid in this pipe, I can turn this valve on and just shove it in there. And this one is at 5 megapascals. And I don't know where that sound is coming from. I haven't figured that out yet. But what I discovered is that this filtration unit takes way too long to get rid of the stuff in the furnace. And I didn't have battery power. But yeah, it was taking way too long. And I ran into an issue where my pressure was too high anyway. So what I gotta do is make more pipes, make another line, and get rid of this 8 megapascal. I gotta clean out this furnace completely with everything. I'm the kind of person that does not or tries not to pollute the air as little as possible. I collect everything. What I'm gonna do with this pollution, I have no idea. I'm just gonna leave it in pipes for now. Maybe I'll run some pipes up top or something. Or I could kind of stick it out here. Just to clear the furnace. So I did a lot of metal making because I didn't have no ingots. And what I discovered is that if you have a clean furnace, you can run the pressure up to over 20 megapascals with only like, I think it's like 25% of that furnace temperature thing, of that gauge. So like this gauge right here, you can get this pressure up to 20 megapascals, and the gauge is like right over here. And I'm like, how's that possible? You know, what is this gauge really reading? So I think it's reading temperature or a combination of both. If the temperature's too high, it'll go into the red. If the pressure's too high, it'll go into the red type of deal. But if you keep using the furnace, it becomes less efficient. So you've got to, my thinking is you have to clean it out completely or keep it empty in order to get that high pressure. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Now, it would be interesting to know where this sound is coming from. I've got a stressed out pipe somewhere and I'm not sure where it is. Let's see if we can find it. It's not that one because that's only 200 kilopascal. There's nothing in that one. There's no liquids anywhere. It's like, where's it coming from? Oh, that's got a liquid in it. So what pipe is that? What pipe is that? That pipe goes back to the inside. This one goes where? Well, that's interesting. Okay, so let's go ahead and what's in this one? Oh, I know why. The the passive vent's missing. wonder if it is that pipe though. It's got some stress. The passive vent's not gonna extrude the water. Uh, hmm. There's my passive vent right here. I was using this to do something with the oxygen in the room, and I changed the setup to put this on here. Let's put this on here for kicks. Okay, so it got rid of the water. Let's equalize the room. So that's not the pipe. I don't know what hell it's coming from. Why did he pass out? And I have no idea. You can grab that pipe through the window. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, this is my my food storage. So I got 15 hours of game time in order to make the cans, which theoretically this thing's not there. You know, that just feeds that can. So I can get my oxygen for now, along with pollution, nitrogen, and every other thing known to man. So now I'm trying to solve this noise problem. This is the input pipe, there's nothing there. Yada yada yada. I don't think it's the fact that this is 50 MPa. It might be. There's only one way to find out, is there? Let's just go ahead and do this. At some point, one of these pipes is going to burst. because every time you do this, you increase the pressure of the pipes. Probably should have collected that, huh? The other thing I did was I just vented this. Let's see. There it goes. That one burst. Where did, where did this one come from? What is this pipe? Oh, that was part of the same one. Uh, yeah, I'm still hearing that noise. Wait, what is this here? Oh, is this the one? Wait, this has got liquid in it. And pollution. It's not stressed out though. Let's try. I just lost my wrench. Damn it. I just threw the wrench somewhere. Yeah, I did, didn't I? I hate it when that happens. What's this? What? The ice crusher blew up. That was on a separate circuit. Was there water or something in here? Why did the ice crusher blow up? Well, I lost my wrench. There it is. Thank you. So what I want to do, the furnace still has stuff in it. I'm just going to vent the furnace. If I can. What is wrong with this damn thing? Okay, so you want a straight one here. Grab this. Oh, that was a good throw. Now this will vent. Oh, that's a big noise. Wait, what's going on here? It should be. It's building up pressure. What? This is a passive vent. Why is it building up pressure? That one's going down. Yeah, it's going down. That's weird. It had a pressure buildup first. So even directly venting this, which is something I wouldn't normally do, it takes time to do it. It's crazy why it takes so long. Just multiply that by 100, and that's what this thing does. It just takes too long, you know. It takes forever to vent all this crap out of here. And so what I did was I put in a volume pump to help that process along, and I was going to add the extra pipe to get rid of the rest of it. Maybe it was the furnace making that noise. Because that's the only thing connected. Uh-oh, what's this here? Yeah. This is nothing. I don't know why this exploded. I wonder if it was this. Oh, she's getting down there. 100% CO2. I tried to get rid of the CO2 and pollution, and yeah, didn't work. What if I leave that full? I can just, yeah, let's just go ahead and do this here. Okay, I'm just going to leave that venting outward. And then I'm going to show you what happens to the furnace now. So I'm losing my air. Go here. We've got 8. We've got 8 and 16. We don't even need that much, really. Just gonna get rid of this crap. I'll do half of that. 8. 4. Okay. This is my troubleshooting run. So to speak. What's this room? Oh, the room is a little warm. It could be the walls doing that now. Crap, am I even gonna have a chance to do this? Oh! What the? Something blew up in here. Yeah, when that thing blew up. At any rate. Yes. Oh, shit. Okay, there we go. Let's do that. Come on, get me out of here. Find me a good battery. Oh, I got enough battery. Alright. So what we're gonna do is try to get 20 megapascals before my room blows up. I know. It's usually the way it is. It's hard to get that square. It's getting loud, ain't it? There's that. Activate. Oh shit. Did I lose it? I did. Alright, let's put 16 and 8 in here. Hide the furnace open. Come on. Oh, come on. Why is... Dude's gonna die before I even get this tested. I can't find the block. Did I lose it? I think I lost it. Oh, I don't know what's going on. Damn. Okay, so maybe the ice crusher has the issue. I go back here. No biggie. Let's just go ahead and empty the furnace. I wanted to get into that explanation of my plant growth. Okay, so I'm in here. I got power. It's 48 degrees. He's at 60%. Burn damage. That's all shut off. Still got a nitrogen issue in this room. Yeah. 70. Okay, I better go ahead and... Yeah, he was having an issue, huh? I need to run his suit. Okay, let's take a look at this dude here. Let me put in this one. This is my nickel and copper, which makes the constant 10. Which is here. Nickel and copper. I need 8 to upgrade the printer. I wonder... It's not the ice crusher. Yeah, I don't know where that noise is coming from. Unless if it's the furnace. Like, it can't be. It's only at 8 megapascals. This is the one that's got the water. It's 74 degrees. It could be the room. But the pressure's low, though. I know what I can do. Well, the temperature... What if I vented everything into a pipe? What if I vented this room into a pipe? No, that ain't gonna work. I could vent it to a pipe that goes outside, drop the temperature down, and vent it back in the room. That's just heat that goes out there. That's how I'm going to solve that problem. Alright, let's explain this other business. And then I'll play the game after. So, let's do something with this. Right here. Um, let's see here. How the hell am I going to do this? This one? So I need to go up and down. That's too close, ain't it? No, it ain't. Alright, let's grab the drill. Alright, so this is the daylight sensor. Now, right now it's set to a certain name called H angle because what I do is I use the horizontal angle and not the vertical angle. Now, in the description on the website, it talks about the solar angle. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the numbers. If you watch all the numbers and see which one changes the quickest, you'll notice that for all intents and purposes, the horizontal angle should be changing the quickest, while the solar angle and the vertical are just kind of sitting there. $92. Now it's making a liar out of me, isn't it? I gotta have my cookie and watch this number. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. So I suppose if we look outside and look for daylight, which is going to take God knows how long. Um, so the horizontal, I think, has to do with the moon traveling around the planet, which is 360 degrees. the vertical only goes through 0 to 90 and then back to 0, whereas the horizontal goes to 0 to 180 and 180 back to 0. So there's more numbers. There's more numbers that complete the circle, which in my opinion is a more accurate representation of time. Okay, it looks like there's some daylight coming in. But there's false daylight sometime. I'll just keep watching this thing here. And find out what this number is when the sun comes up. And you can also tell that by putting a dead battery in here. And see if that thing blinks. When that thing starts charging, it's definitely a sunrise. But I want to see it outside. And I want to see this thing start charging. Oh, it's already at 89. Oh shit. Okay, let's save this. We'll save this at sunrise. Alright, so this thing is charging, and we've got the following numbers. So we could theoretically say horizontal is at 90. Let's see. Let's take this off. Let's put it. Oh shit, it's not gonna let me. Oh, because I don't have the thing here. Shit. I forgot about that. Oh my god, Nevin. That says 100 and like so. Let's do this here. Now it's saying the horizontal is closer to 0. It's sunrise. So I wonder if this is the position it needs to be in order to let me know where the sunrise is according to the horizontal. So in order to do that, I can change this cable and have it run, or just move it and put it here. Or do I have another place to put it? I've got to use these centerpieces because everything else is kind of screwed up. I have to put it here. That needs to be moved over. Okay, so let's go back. It's not going to change my plant setup, which I really need to get into. I'll have a little picture that I can put up. Alright, so let's fix this here. We're in this room. Close that up. This is my airlock, my manual airlock. So I've got two solutions. One, to get rid of the heat in the room by sending a pipe outside, which I don't know where the heck that pipe goes. I might destroy this wall and figure it out. Can I move this? Wait. You can beat on things to get things to move. I need to get that out of there. There we go. Come on. Oh, I don't have the room. I can't get that in there. Here it goes. Bet it's gonna stay there. Nope. What the hell is going on? Yeah, this might be a problem. I don't know. Drill. Wire. Put this here. So now when we look at these numbers, when that hits 0, we should have a sunrise. And it's in the positive. It's in the positive going down. I wonder. I wonder. I want to try something else. Let's see. So it was in the positive going down. If I put it here, now it's in the negative going up. Actually, it's, well, the absolute value, it's actually in the negative going down. When that hits 180, it's going to be sunrise. Which is kind of weird. It should be 0. I think it should be 0. We're getting there. If it's 0, whatever, let's see here. It doesn't really matter which way that goes because I take the absolute value. Which changes negative to positive, and I use a certain timing for my plants, which I'm going to go into at some point in life. Let's go back here. He's all happy. Right, so my choice is going to be that way. I don't know how this is going to work here. It might. Here, drill. So, that doesn't even require power. But we use this in order to set all this other equipment. Here. Now, I've changed the orientation of this, but it doesn't matter. So when that reaches 0, the horizontal value, it's going down, and that will be a sunrise. So how this works is it takes the number from there, the H angle, and this is not turned on yet because I'm saving power to my battery. Let's grab some batteries here. I've got to charge. I gotta have all my batteries charged in order to do a plant cycle. And I've been busy doing stuff. Yeah, so it's changed this part here. It's the daylight sensor. It actually is going to read. Okay, I've got to rechange this. And that's got no battery. So we grab the whole item. Can you? This is going to be HA. That's the name of the daylight sensor. It's going to read the H angle, which is horizontal. Okay. It's going to print out the horizontal number of the H angle, which is that machine, the sensor. So it'll print out the horizontal value, either positive or negative, and reads that, converts it to the absolute value. Now I have a logic gate here. So either one of these compare units will compare the H angle to the memory. This one is set to 60, H60. This one is set to 120. That's H60. That one's H120. So the first one does the low angle. Reads the math urinary output. Not urinary, unary. And it compares it to 120. Why wouldn't this do 60? If it's less than 60, the light should go on. If it's less than 60, the light should be on. But this is, yeah, there's H60 up there. So it's taken the value from the H angle, the absolute value, and comparing it to H60. And if that number is less than 60, it's going to turn on this switch. And this is H low. That's the name of the chip. This is H high. Compares the unary output, which is the absolute value. And if that value is greater than 120, it's going to put out a signal. The gate chip takes both of these signals. It takes this one, which is H low and H high. And if either one of them are on, it'll turn this on. That's the OR setting. And this is the output right here. And the logic writer reads the gate unit, logic gate, and it turns on the grow light. It sets the value to the grow light, and it turns the grow light on whenever the gate unit is on. That's the explanation of that. And then what I'm going to do is go over to my web page, which is here somewhere. And we're going to bring up the web page. Why is it paint even up here? What the hell? Where's the web page? No. Did I lose that? Oh, I've got to set this up again. Okay, there's the web page. So that's the fern. We don't want the fern. I took care of that. So this is the grow light automation. And it goes through a bunch of stuff here, which don't really pay much attention to what it talks about. It's talking about solar angle, which, you know, it goes to 0. Like maybe we use this with the solar panel or something, I don't know. Anyway, there's a thing down here that talks about the plant requirements of day and night. And there's a bunch of math stuff. I don't even pay any attention to that. So what I discovered was that certain plants have a certain time frame of light and dark, which is up at the top here. Like 10 is 10 minutes. What is that? It's like 1 minute for each one of these blocks. So the rice, the soybean, and the wheat all have the same amount of daylight and darkness. Which is food. The other stuff does not. They have different amounts. I guess a lot of this stuff has the same, doesn't it? So all these advanced plants, the cocoa plant's not in here, is it? This is old, hasn't been updated. But it'll tell me in the game what the requirements are. I need to have my little snack, don't I? So it's 10 minutes of light and 5 minutes of darkness, which adds up to 15 minutes. 15 minutes is 25% of a circle. So you got 10 minutes of light, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes of darkness. So what you do is you go with 20 minutes. So each time the light turns on and off, it loses efficiency. Anything that changes drastically, it loses efficiency. So, like if it goes out of range of one of the temperatures or pressure, that number goes beflooey. Tired. So if we take the calculator and you do the 15 minutes, which is a total cycle. There's 4 cycles. So you can divide the cycles by 2 and come up with 20 minutes of day and 10 minutes of night, which is 30 minutes, which is 180 degrees. So 20 minutes of that 180 degrees has to be light. So how do you figure that out? Let's see. So 20. It's 180 divided by 20. Oh, that's not right. It turns out to a percentage. 20. It's a percentage. If you think of the minutes, okay, that's 60 minutes in 360 degrees. So 20 divided by 60 is a number, 0.33333. You take that number you multiply it by 360. That comes up to 120. So there's 120 degrees of daylight. So any number that is greater than 120 gives daylight. There's two 60s on the bottom, which is 120. So any number that's less than 160, less than 60, gives daylight. Anything else gives darkness. So that's how I figured that out. I don't know if I can show you that with my paint program, but I will try if I can find it here. Alright, this is the paint program. Let's use yellow, and we'll make a circle, which I don't seem to see when I think it's a circle. I go here. That didn't work out very well. Let's see if that works. What's going on here? Must be drawing a line. Why isn't it drawing the circle? Okay, so here's a circle, and I will draw a line, and I'll do it in red. Making a pie. Oops, wait just a minute here. Let's do it different. Let's do a darker red. That one. That one. Now we can put the numbers in. So the top number, if the top represents 180, so this is going to be, this would be minus 120, and this is going to be positive 120. Now up here, the number goes from 0 at the bottom. Just put a 0 down here. And then we put a minus. And then we'll use this. And then we'll use this one. This is plus. So the left is the minus side, and the right is the plus side. Let's see here. So this is going to be 60. These are degrees, and my numbers look horrible. But hey, you get the idea. This is minus 60. So what happens is that the horizontal angle goes from 0 to minus 180. And then it changes to plus 180, which is kind of weird, and goes back down to 0. So the time frame, which goes around here, that's the direction that it goes. It's a total of 120 degrees. The bottom is a total of 120 degrees. These are 60-degree segments. And so forget the fact that the 60 lines up with 60 minutes. It's the complete revolution of the circle, which is 60 minutes. So you equate 360 degrees to 60 minutes. You take the minutes numbers and you divide them into the minutes total, and you get the percentage of the daylight time and night. So there's 2 sections of light. What should you put here? And then, I don't know if you can see this or not. This is dark. And there's 2 sections of dark, which are 10 minutes and 5 minutes, respectively. So that worked out pretty good. I was very surprised at that. It was quite by accident. So then I figured out the number of I'll go back to the game. And we'll get rid of this. File. Let's save that, get rid of that, get rid of that. So we explained my chip setup, and they're using the H angle. I'm going to go into the room again. I feel like I'm missing something. So each, I gotta turn this thing off. Damn, it's hot in here. Let's see here. So since we've got rice and soybean, it worked out that the rice requires, as you can look down here, requires lights per day 10 minutes, darkness 5 minutes. It doesn't tell you about, let me see here. So if we look at the canned rice, so cooked rice it's just 1 to 1, okay? We go to the canned rice. That's in the packager. I go to here, packaging, and you go to canned rice pudding. And it tells you need 1 empty can, 1 oil, and 5 rice. Okay? So each planter gives me 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Each planter, I think, gives me 4. That's 5. Each planter gives me 5 rice, okay? So there's 3, 6, there's 12 cans. 12 cans of rice. So when you go to the packaging machine, you need 12 oil. When you go to the oil, it's not telling me. It's 1. Where's the reagent machine? The reagent machine's not here. It's 1 oil per seed, okay? So I use 4 blocks. Each soybean gives me 3. So 3 times 4 is 12. And I expanded my plants to 12. So I've got 4 soybean plants. Each gives me 3 soybean, which is a total of 12 soybean, which is enough oil to fill up all of those cans. And I got 2 extra pods for like wheat or something, because the wheat also has the same timing. So I could theoretically, well, no, that's wheat, not fern. That's how the plants are grown. That's the story of my can factory. Yep. I think what I'm going to do, I will restart the game and solve the problems. And I got to take off this extra layer because it's too hot. Yeah, it's definitely hot in here. So I gotta solve my heating problem, solve my furnace problem, and we're going to need pipes. We make the pipes. And this room, the temperature's already cold, so it's really no big deal. And this dude here has a daylight sensor which is pointed in the wrong direction. I could separate that and put it over here to make it the same as the other one. And I don't know why that's empty, but oh yeah, we have a problem with water in here. What happened was I opened this tank thinking I could get more pressure out of it. So I don't know what's going on with my water tanks. Like, I didn't use both of these, you know? I'm going to check the water really quick. See, this fills up to 540. Like, it's just not doing very well filling this up. It's taking forever. So let's go over to this one. This one's 100 and this is 1.39 liters. So it gives me a larger capacity. But why is it only filling up to 85 milliliters? Because I've got a lot to fill here. There's no power. If we look at the... so there's a thing with the planters. Okay, I lost my thing. There's some planters over here that have data ports, these two. And what happened was I discovered that they don't have the water. So I'm ending up using these outside ones, but I could replace them until I figure out how to use the data ports for those. Because they're not getting water. And these ones all have a lot of water in them because I added these pipes on the end, which I didn't do before. But they're all, like this one's 12 liters, right? But this one here is not. These two are not. I could fix that. So they all have plenty of water. But I want to grab... okay, so this one worked. This one worked. See, it's giving me 1.37 liters instead of 500 milliliters. Okay, so I need 2 planters, a bunch of pipes, and I don't know what's... fix the water in that. Yeah, I got water here. There might be... you can see there's water on the floor. I need to put a drain in here. I wonder if there's a drain in that other thing. Let's see. Let's go take a look. Because that's not on. I'm just going to leave it open. So I've got a nitrogen issue here. But I'm not going to build anything, so I wonder if there is a nitrogen issue still. Yep. I don't know what to do with that yet. I got a little filter for it, but I gotta fix this. I'm gonna find out about the liquid drain. And that I'm assuming would be in here. Kit, liquid. There's a pipe utility liquid. Liquid volume pump. Liquid pipe. See, I don't know where it comes from. Liquid pipe valve. Drain, it's a passive device. Might be in the utility. I don't know. Not a clue. I think it's going to explode here in a minute. Wait, what happened? It didn't explode. It didn't build anything. Yeah, I want to just turn that off. Okay, let's turn it on again. That just dissolved the nitrogen that was in the room. A little bit of an issue. I may have to look up that liquid drain. Because I don't know where it is. Yeah, it's not in here. Let's see. What is this here? I don't need that anymore. Why is it doing this to me? Yep, I don't know where it is. It's not going to help me. It's not in that thing. Utility. I wonder if it's a... I wonder if it's a tier 2. Edit. Find. Drain. That's a tier 2 item. But why? And I need the same amount of material to do all 3 of those mods. You know, it would only make sense to do all 3 of them, wouldn't it? What if I got back there? I've got enough nickel. So I only need... I might try to do that. And then vent the machine again. See, I need 4 for each one. It's copper and nickel, so that's a total of 12. No, 16, because the tool one does it too. 16. I got the nickel. Got the gold and silver. And I have the lead. So it's 16 units. Is what I need to do all of those. There's the iron. Copper might be outside. I almost have enough gold. And the silver. I got silver and lead. And then nickel is outside. I just need that copper again. I think I threw it out here. Maybe I didn't. Alright. I'm gonna get me a drink. And then I will proceed to fix these problems. do. Fix problems. Well, the air conditioner's not working. Isn't that nice? Yeah, so I'm just realizing this pill is only doing 10%. I don't know what it's doing.